We conclude our series, the series we've been in over the last few weeks on building strong families. Over the past couple of weeks, we've looked at 6 different principles or strategies or techniques, whatever you want to call them, but we've looked at 6 different ones. Building strong families, we've observed begins with a biblical foundation, with filtering out pollution, the pollution that comes in and can come into our families. It also begins with setting family values, that we set those in our homes, and it's a part of who we are as a family. We looked last week at how it also involves making memories, working together and establishing sort of this safe relational area, this relational safety where we can share what's on our mind, what we're feeling openly. A way to do that God does that with us and sort of expects us to bring our burdens to Him, and we as families should be safe and open enough to allow each other to bring our concerns and burdens to each other. Well, raising families can be hard. It can be challenging. And we've looked at a lot of different examples and a lot of different illustrations through this series. And there's a lot that can go wrong. But this morning, we're going to look at 3 things that can go right. 3 things we can do right. 3 principles that can go right. So strengthening families also involves right friends. And that's the first point we're looking at this morning. It involves surrounding ourselves with the right sort of friends. Now this comes from 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. Bad company corrupts good character. The Bible tells us that the folks we hang out with, the friends we keep, and the friends our children and our grandchildren keep are important because they will affect who we are. They do affect our character. I grew up looking up to or admiring Tim. Tim was a fellow that came to our youth group older than myself. He didn't grow up in a church family, but I did admire him. I knew about him at school. I knew about him in the community we lived in, and I enjoyed getting to know him in our youth group. Tim, one summer, came to work for my dad. Dad had at his house an auto body shop, so he would work on cars, and Tim wanted money this one summer, so he worked with Dad. Well, this one Saturday, he was 2 hours late, and he looked terrible when he came in. And I thought, well, there's something must have happened last night. Tim doesn't seem to be himself. Well, he just looked terrible. He barely was talking. He always had his head down. He had glasses on. I thought, well, he must have had a bad Friday night. Well, we were working on a project together, and I finally said, Tim, what's up? Are you okay? He said, no, I'm feeling better, but today's been rough. I said, oh. Yes, I was out a little late last night with some friends. We were drinking. And I thought, oh, maybe you're hungover. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. This explains your demeanor, your behavior. He said, I am mainly frustrated with myself because there are 4 hours unaccounted for last night. 4 hours, I don't know where I was, what I was doing, or what I said. The friends I was with, we didn't just drink, we were drinking to get drunk. And I have lost track of 4 hours. And I won't get those back. and I'm mainly angry. I thought, well, okay, I'll leave you alone. Then he says, Chris, never drink to get drunk, and if your friends have to do it, get new friends. And that's always stuck with me. I mean, he was 3-4 years older than me. I was in high school at the time. He had to be getting close to finishing high school. But for that to come from somebody who I knew in church left an impression on me. Bad company corrupts good character. Now, I don't know about you, but I always used to, well, I didn't always, but there were times when I thought Mom and Dad are just, they're just a little lame. I mean, Mom and Dad, they're party poopers, really, in a lot of ways. Anybody here ever thought that your parents were sort of lame party poopers? Okay, some of you do. Kids, put your hands down. No one with parents in the room can answer that question, but the rest of you can answer. Yes, I imagine we have all thought Mom and Dad are silly. We as parents call it being protective, and we know that our kids are calling it lame. Well, I think there is a reason. I used to think my mom and dad were so silly. They are aware that bad company corrupts good character. And in a lot of the things that they were doing and a lot of the concerns they had for me, it was just to make sure I had the right kind of friends around me. And I think that's important. Not only do I think it's important, but God's Word tells us it's important, that the people we hang around, whether we're adults or children or teenagers, they matter. Our friends matter. So picking the right friends goes a long way in helping sustain a strong or maintaining a strong family. I mean, we could change that verse just a little. Bad company corrupts a good family. We could say that. Bad company weakens a strong family. We could put it that way. But friends are important. And the right friends are more important. Second thing that helps sort of strengthen our families is the right answers. The right answers. Now, I didn't used to pay much attention to this one, but increasingly it is becoming more important for our families to realize that we've got to provide answers. 1 Peter 3:15. But in your hearts, revere Christ as Lord. Always be prepared